I just completed a 72-hour fast, and as you can see, I'm still alive. So today, I'm going to explain to you why you should fast, what the benefits scientifically and personally for me are with fasting, the rules of fasting that you should follow if you are going to do a fast, what I actually did during this 72-hour fast, how you should break a fast, because that's just as important as the fast itself. And if you've not fasted before, or if you're trying to improve your fasting, I'm going to show you how exactly you can get started, the same way I did to learn. But before coming on to any of that, why should you even be listening to me in the first place? My name's Tor. I've done a TEDx talk on mental fitness, including fasting, which is a big component of that talk. I've done mental challenges all around the world, such as boxing, dopamine detoxes, ice baths, and many more. And I've been doing prolonged fasts for about 8 years now. This video will be for you if you want to learn more about fasting in general, if you're looking to get started, or if you just generally want to improve the length and quality of your current fast. You should listen to this video. Now, why should you even fast in the first place? Well, there's a whole heap of scientific reasons. I am going to leave the links to these studies in the description of this video. But on a high level, it will promote autophagy, which is cellular repair. That gets activated during fasting. It improves focus and mental clarity. It supports insulin sensitivity, so it can help manage your blood sugar levels. And it boosts the growth hormone, specifically in the aid of building muscle. All of the details to these scientific studies are going to be linked below. You can look more into them if you want to. For me personally, though, I have personal reasons why I like to fast. It makes my mental clarity better. I make better and smarter decisions when I'm fasted. I actually aim in my personal life to fast once a week for 24 hours or once every 2 weeks for 24 hours. And during those times, I will always plan things. That's when I strategize. That's when I plan. That's when I come up with new ideas to put into the world. On that point, my creativity is increased when I'm fasted. My best ideas and inspiration come to me when I'm in a fasted state. My spiritual awareness is deeper. I have a higher connection with the self and less focus on worldly concerns. I'm not religious at the time of making this video, I'm not. But I have a good spiritual connection, especially when I'm fasted. I understand things a lot better. And I'll come on to more about that in a second when I go through what I did during the fast. Less negative self-talk. I'm someone who works a lot with affirmations. I'm actually training to be a hypnotherapist at this moment in time. What that enables me to do is have a lot of positive self-talk, but I'm more optimistic and more energetic when I'm fasted without me having to even try and reduce negative self-talk. It also increases my discipline. As I mentioned, I do boxing, I do ice baths, I do cold showers. You need discipline to do these things. It strengthened both my physical and mental resilience with fasting. And I've also someone who suffered with a lot of gut issues from fairly young age, around teenage. So when I fast, I don't get any bloating or any concern with digestion. It just helps my stomach have a little break. Now, here's the rules of the fast. No food for 72 hours. This was the rules I was following. Only water. Salt water is what I'd recommend to someone else. You can have maybe half a teaspoon to a whole teaspoon of salt in your water each day throughout the fast. And caffeine is optional. I don't consume caffeine anyway, but I know some other people that do, and they will sometimes include caffeine in the fast, and it won't break the fast itself. But for me, I choose not to do caffeine. Now, what did I personally do during my fast? I started the fast on a Friday, and I'll explain why in a moment. I chose to start it on the first Friday of the new year. When I started, I actually had a headache for that first day, first 24 hours. I've been doing prolonged fast for years now, and I rarely get issues during the first day, but this time I had a headache, moderate one. It was because I didn't eat well beforehand. New Year's, you're not eating the best food. I haven't eaten great food for the past 3 or 4 weeks, if I'm honest. So the start of the fast wasn't great for me. But I was able to just focus, work on hypnotherapy, work on work in general. And that was good to keep my mind off of any hunger pains or anything like that. Day 2 is when things started to get tricky. This is on Saturday. 39 hours in to the fast, I went to get salt water or just some pink Himalayan salt to put into my water to help me reduce hunger symptoms and just increase my energy. I knew I was going for a 72 hours, so I knew it's going to be a long way to the end. So I wanted to make sure I had something to reduce my hunger. But my hunger peaked a few hours later. My dad was over this weekend and he was cooking in the kitchen and I could smell the food, and that just brought on all these hunger symptoms straight away. Stomach rumbling, wanting to eat food. A few hours after this, went to my girlfriend's place, just chilled. And this was really important for the fast. Being in good energy around good, positive people puts you in a good frame of mind, good state of mind. My girlfriend herself, she's a yoga teacher. She's a very calm, relaxed individual. What she's able to do is put me in a relaxed place too, which then reduces any symptoms of hunger, any worry, any concerns, anything like that. Strongly recommend you socializing if you are doing something like this. But I went to sleep that night and actually woke up around 4 a.m. with really bad discomfort, couldn't really sleep very well, quite a bad headache, very bad headache, I'd say. And this is all coming from that first instance of me not eating properly beforehand. Because now I'm 53 hours in, and the last food I've had, the last nutrition I've had was bad food anyway. I think the last thing I ate was maybe some cookies or something a couple of days ago. That's now giving me discomfort later down the line. Not to mention, 60 hours in, I had to have a business meeting, a 2-hour business meeting. Funny enough, my energy was really, really good during this meeting. So I went back to bed at 4 a.m. after I'd woken up with discomfort, went back to sleep around 5, woke up again around 9 a.m., had this business meeting. I think it started at 11. And the energy was good during the meeting. Had lots of energy, had lots to present. I was leading the meeting, so it required a lot from me. But the energy was good because my mind was focused on something. When I'm sleeping, my mind is not focused on anything except hunger, which is why those symptoms will crop up then. Which brings me on to some of the things that you should actually avoid during the fast. Don't fast during a busy time period. It's going to give you a lower chance of success. Just make sure you fast during the times when things are not as crazy. That's why I chose to start the fast on the first Friday of the new year, because that means that there's not a lot going on. I can chill, I can get stuff done. No heavy activity. Do not do anything in the gym that is heavy, like weightlifting or anything like that if you're new to fasting. If you're good at fasting and you've done it for a while, then you can go into things like that. I'm not yet at the stage where I can do intense gym workouts while fasted. And I'm someone who does fasted workouts every day. I always intermittent fast into my heavy lifts or into my boxing training or into my long distance runs. I always heavy lift into it. But I would not recommend it for someone who's on a prolonged fast or someone who's new to fasting. And bad eating before the fast, this is my biggest mistake. Eat whole foods the day or 2 days before your fast. Avoid refined carbs, avoid cookies, cakes, bread, biscuits, crisps, anything like that. Just eat whole foods. Single ingredient foods, fruit, vegetables, meat, things like that, depending on what your dietary needs are. Obviously, double check this. Now, how should you break your fast? There's going to be 3 different scenarios that I'm going to suggest for you if you're breaking a fast. If you started in the evening, let's say you started late. So I started late on this fast, for example. I started around 10 p.m. on the Friday. If I started the fast on 10 p.m. on the Friday, then what I should be doing is breaking the fast on 10 p.m. on the Sunday, but obviously being conscious that I'm going to sleep around midnight, then I'm not going to be able to eat that much before I go to bed. So what you do is you end the fast with up to 8 ounces of lean protein as your only meal. If you are meat-based, this can be beef, steak, chicken, turkey, eggs. If you are plant-based, this could be something like beans, but I'll give you an alternative plant-based option in just a second as well. For the next day following the fast, eat whole foods only. I'm recording this the day after I've broken the fast. So today, all I'm eating is whole foods only. No high ingredient foods, no foods that are going to potentially disrupt my stomach. Again, I'm someone who's had IBS issues since a young age, so I'm familiar with this concept. The second option is if you started in the daytime. So when you actually started the fast, let's say you started at 1 p.m. or you started at 10 a.m. when you started the fast, then you can actually end it with bone broth, as an example, and then eat whole foods or no refined carbs for the rest of the day. So you just continue your normal day eating once you break it, but you end it with bone broth. And then your third option would be if you're vegetarian or if you're vegan, end it with vegetable broth. No bone broth, but the same difference. And then the same principle applies with eating the whole foods or refined carbs. When you end a fast, it's very important that you end it properly. This is one of the most important things you got to do. Because if you end it the wrong way, it's going to cause disruption. It's going to cause issues to your gut. It's going to also mean a lot of the hard work that you put into the fast is going to be gone. This is how you should get started with fasting yourself. Start with intermittent fasting. I would recommend, if you've never fasted before, start with a 16-hour window where you don't eat each day, and then have an 8-hour window where you do eat. For example, maybe you only start eating at 2 p.m. each day until 10 p.m. that day. That's an 8-hour window. Then for the next 16 hours, you're sleeping for a large portion of that, and the rest of it you don't eat. Start with that, and then gradually you can make that window smaller and smaller, and maybe you even want to try doing just one meal a day. Once you've got confident with intermittent fasting and you're able to function well with intermittent fasting, which you will be able to do, by the way, intermittent fasting is super easy. Once you've done it a couple of times, you'll be super functional. Then move on to a 24-hour fast next. Once you've done a few 24-hour fasts, then move up to 48. Once you've done 48 a couple of times, then aim for a 72. 72 and 48 are very different. There's a lot. That last day of the 72 is a lot of time. So until you're ready, don't move up to 72. My next goal is to move up to doing 7 days and then even longer. But I will always consult a doctor first before doing any crazy length of time fasting. And if I was to do a fast longer than 72, I'm going to do it while being monitored by a doctor, experienced faster. Someone is going to be there doing it with me. Which brings me to the point of how you stay successful. Make sure you're hydrated. I'm not a big fan of dry fasts. I've done them before. I've done Ramadan before as well, which is effectively repeated dry fast every single day for a period. But I believe that if you are going to fast, do it the safest way. Stay hydrated. Use salt where you can for electrolytes. Don't go all in the gym. Don't do strenuous activity. Don't do too much other active stuff that's going to require your brain energy, because your brain burns calories. Making decisions and doing things burns calories. You're not taking any calories in, so you're going to be constantly in negative energy-wise. So do it during less active periods, and don't do it alone. Don't do it alone. Always do it with someone if you can, because when you do it with people, when you socialize, you speak with people, things always work better for you.